Hello there, and welcome back. Does it look like I've been working? Just a little bit? Well, we've been having a good go at it here the past 2 hours. There's a mess over here that I'll show you in a minute. But we are putting the valve springs on the 823 square port heads that are going on the LQ4 that is going in the satellite. Now, the most important thing, don't lose a keeper, because that will hold you back until you find it or get another one. And I am missing one. It fell right in front of me. I watched where it fell, and I guess in the split second that I looked up and looked back down, it ran off. So, yeah. And I've broken 2 bolts. One here, one oil pan related, but they're fixed. So, no need to get into that because I'm gonna choke Jeff out. So I'm on the last one, pulling off the old spring, putting on the new springs. I am running, well, never mind. When I get into the cam, putting the cam in, I'll let you know what I'm running. But, yeah, so kind of just, when you're doing this, I also got a makeshift compressor, spring compressor. So we're gonna, and then when you do that, oh, wow, okay. That one just came out. Nice. So, anyways, they don't always come out that easy. When you have it, when the head is on the engine, I've never had to put compressed air in the spark plug hole to keep the valve up. They just come. I've done it. I don't know how many times. The valve springs, they go down, and you pull the keepers off. They come up, and you do each one like that. I've never had to put compressed air in the spark plug. The spark plug hole, they do that to put air in the cylinder to keep the valve up. If you do that, great. If you need to do that, great. If you don't want to do that, I haven't done it, and it's all worked out perfectly fine. Now on the bench, obviously the valve is going to move in and out, and most times, like I've had to do, which is why I got Kim Jong-un here, you know, it'll compress in enough, and then the keepers are still on it, they're not popping off. You just go back there and you do that, and it forces the valve out, which forces the keepers out, which, there you go. So, I am going to put these springs on, because I've already done the other head. I just wasn't going to bring y'all in for me doing both, taking the springs off, putting the springs on both heads, because there's no point. You see me do one, it's the same thing on all of them. So let's, just while I got you right here, I'll go ahead and put one on for demonstration purposes. I'm not replacing the valve seals because I'm pretty sure these heads have very low miles on them just by looking at everything. So what I'm saying is it probably has 300,000 miles and I'm too lazy, and I really want to just get this over with. So it all looks great to me, Captain. It all looks great. Now you're thinking, Anthony, get the dual valve spring compressor. This guy? Yeah, I got it. Junk. So I got my makeshift one here that works perfectly. It just takes a tad bit longer because I do one at a time. So I'm gonna make sure your fine motor skills are good. You know what I mean? This, and this. I'm going to jail. Lock me up. Lock them up. Bam. That's what you don't want to happen. I gotta find one Actually, you know what? I can still put the head on while I figure out if I'm going to go on a scavenger hunt or just get up in the attic and pull one off of another head. There you go. Valve spring engaged. I gotta go pick up my son in a minute, so I'm gonna finish this, come back, and we will move on to engine assembly. Okay, so valve springs are on, heads are ready to go. I'm just doing some cleaning because there was rust in the cylinders from it sitting in here for since like last, man, has it been a year already? I think it's been a year. Long story short, on this LQ4, I am $0 into it. I actually made money on it because I bought it with the 4L80E for $500, and I sold the 4L80E for $800. So, yeah. And it was actually supposed to go in the CUDA, but I didn't feel like pulling the perfectly 4.8 out of the CUDA. So, it's kind of like it was almost meant to be. The CUDA was a small little car, so the 4.8 was plenty. We got us a boat now, so cammed LQ4 with square port heads. Woo-wee. She's gonna be a bad son of a gun, I'll tell you what, boy. Yeah. So you can't. I completely forgot this had lifters in it already, but I'm going to use these lifters that I have had sitting in the attic, brand new, for almost 3 years now. And I'm just going to use those because I have them. It's not one of those things, oh, replace it while you're in there. Actually, a factory Gen 3 lifter with nothing wrong with it. And what I mean by nothing wrong with it is when you roll it, it's all dirty and nasty because almost all these fell on the ground when I pulled them out. What I mean is when you spin that roller, it spins nice and free, and there is no marks on it. There can be marks, but you don't want any marks that your fingernail catch on. So, since if spins free, no scratchy scratch, good to go. Put it right back in. I've reused factory lifters so many times. That's why I still have these sitting in the attic. I actually have another box of these sitting in the attic. So, let's do that. Well, let's do that while it's still good. It's perfectly fine. What I was trying to say is let's do that while Jeff is doing nothing. Oh, these are a little dirty. Let's clean these up. Ow. 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 Are you serious? What is... Whatever. I'm not even gonna ask. From the hood. All I wanted was a can of brake clean. Clean. Get our lifters. These are the lifter trays that came in it, by the way. And if you're one of those people that is, well, why don't you replace it while you're in there? Well, because, what would your name be? Let me think about it. Because, Kevin, I'm not new to this game. Don't replace what doesn't need to be replaced. It's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple concept, isn't it? There we go. One set down. I am also missing a lifter tray. Never mind, no I'm not. I found it. Oh. Look at this BS. Oh, that just got everywhere. Also, I see a lot of people, and it's new people, which I completely understand. And it might just be one of your preferences, even if you're not new. But it is okay to have some dirt in your engine. It is not going to hurt anything. I'll see people on TikTok talking about, oh, look at my clean workbench that I'm gonna put my valve springs on, or look at my clean workbench that I'm gonna set my engine stuff on before I put it on the engine. Buddy, where's this lifter? I'm pulling this lifter straight up off the ground, and it's going right in. Y'all are worried about way too much. Now, it might be an old timer thing, but we just get her done around here. We don't need none of that clean negativity in our lives. 10 millimeter. (7/16) is what I meant. Also, I've said this I don't know how many times, but torque, done. Move on. Move along, Kevin. Kobe. My scissors. And then you're probably thinking, oh, your workspace is so dirty. Well, once again, Kevin, we work around here. Clean. I know. You're just waiting to see what cam I'm using. That's all. That's the only reason you've been watching. We'll get there. Chill. Well, there we go. Kobe. Got it. Still going. It's gonna be a world record. Let's stop. Oh, wait until y'all don't see me put assembly lube on the cam before I put it in. Y'all are really gonna lose it. And if you plan on calling me a hack, why thank you. Appreciated. Where'd my torque wrench go? let's move on. Time. No, let's do the cam. Let's not do the heads yet. I am missing a cam gear. I gotta go find one. I better have one. If I don't have one, we're done. That's going to push back my Friday deadline of getting this running. Whew, that was a close one. Almost couldn't find one. Found this one that was up there. Cam sensor. Hey. Now the part everybody's been waiting for. What cam? Okay, I'll finally tell you. After we put the heads on. Stay tuned. JK, elemental P. Hold on, let me get situated. Ouch. Come on. Oh. Ridiculous. Okay, so we are going to run the Richard Holdener Truck Plus Cam. It is essentially a sloppy stage 2. Essentially. Don't go, oh, it's not the same because of this and that. Essentially it is. Ask me how I know. Because I looked at the sloppy stage 2 and I looked at this. That's how I know. Aww. Okay, so what we are going to do is well, wait a minute. Look at this. It says SPS2. Sloppy stage 2? Anyways, so why am I running this? Because it was only $298 shipped to my door with valve springs. That's literally the only reason. Everything, any other kit is like 400 plus. So, and all I needed was valve springs and cam. So, yeah, I was gonna put oil on this before I stuck it in, but Like I tell your mom, sometimes we just gotta go in dry. Just hope for the best. Oh, yeah. This is where you gotta use the Jedi feel. Oh, wait, I can look now. Fuck you. My finger! Let's continue. And there we go. We are in there. Now, cam gear. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Not cam gear yet. Where are you at? Little devil. Oh. Almost forgot the cam retainer plate. Now, anytime you get this far in and you pull the old cam retainer plate off, you have to put a new one on it. This gasket right here is a one-time only seal. If you don't and you reuse the old one, you will have oil pressure issues because your oil pressure will be seeping out through the little area that the gasket isn't covering anymore because it's flat. It's a one-time use. So you'll have oil pushing out of here and you'll have low oil pressure. Don't everybody thank me at once. It's okay. Where are the bolts? It doesn't hurt to be organized. It's all organized up here. It's all here. I see it. I feel it. Need my torque wrench. Okay. Now, sprocket. Well, actually, let's line up the dots. So remember, you have a dot right there. I'm going to point that at 6 o'clock. And then on the sprocket down here, you will have a dot too. Right there. So 12 o'clock dot, 6 o'clock dot. Timing chain that came with the engine. Do you need a new one? Not if it's not broke. What do you need a new one for? And then you're saying, oh, the peace of mind. If it's not broke, what peace of mind do you need? That's just me personally. That's my, look, you do what you want with your money, with your whatever. Oh, brother. Of course you're going to be a pain. Right there. There she is, all lined up. And another thing, normal, 100% normal. That's how it came from the factory, straight up, right off the assembly line. Nice and loosey-goosey. Torque, torque, torque. Still lined up? We sure are. Now, the dots might not line up exactly like that. One of the dots might be, so we'll stay the cam gear, how it looks right now. The dot might be just a tad bit over this way, but it's not off a tooth. Does that make sense? If you're just slightly this way, or just slightly that way, you're good, perfectly fine, because it's kind of hard to get it perfect. Now, if you're way over here, or way over here, then that's where you have timing issues. An LS, you do not have to do top dead center. You don't have to do anything but line up the dot down here and the dot up here. That is it. It does not matter where any of the cylinders are in the up-down position. Your timing starts right there. Now, oil pump. Now, 100% can reuse oil pump, done it many times. All you do is just change the O-ring. 99.9% of the time when you have low oil pressure issues, it's because that O-ring has just worn out. It's a rubber O-ring that constantly expands and shrinks, expands, shrinks, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. So eventually it just loses all of its compression? Sealing. We'll go with sealing. And yeah. But I have also had this in the attic for, I have no idea. This is standard volume, standard pressure. That is all you need. You don't need high volume, high pressure. You don't need standard volume, high pressure. You don't need high volume, standard pressure. You just standard. Get the standard to the standard. Keep it standard. Okay? So, M295. If you want a cheaper one, this is mailing. Just cross-reference the part number on Amazon, and you'll find a cheaper one that's not $100. Yeah. Oh, and then the whole shim it. Shimmed. Just put it on, bro. Just put it on. Torqued. Oh. Now, the next myth. You don't need an alignment tool for the front or back rear cover. You do need a gasket though. Hold that thought. Now, I have used many of the cheap Amazon, eBay Chinese gaskets. The only gaskets out of those I wouldn't use, surprisingly, are just the front and rear cover. Head gaskets are perfectly fine. Oil pan gaskets perfectly fine. Valley gaskets perfectly fine. But front and rear cover, I strongly suggest Fel-Pro. But I have used the other ones. It's just by other ones I mean the Chinese ones. The only thing is they're a little bit more flimsy, and the gasket here is a little thinner, so it's hit or miss. Now, going back to the not needing a alignment tool, just keep the covers loose. Do not tighten the front cover until you have the oil pan, the bolt holes that hold the bottom of the cover and the oil pan. Do not tighten this until you have those put on. And there you go. You've successfully done a cam swap. Now let's move on. Oh, we gotta put the heads on. Let's do that right quick. Front, front, front. Just like that. Okay. Now all your long bolts, all these, bottom row, middle 3. Wow. Whew. Scared me there. I got 2 packs, right? Okay, good. Whew. Making sure I got all the head bolts for both sides. You got your little fellas. They go along the top row. I would strongly recommend not torquing these, but I have past trauma with those that I have to live with, and that's just my opinion. Okay. It's time for the torque wrench. And then the 2 small ones that come in the head bolt kit go on the outside. So outside here, outside here. You got that, Kevin? Bunch of junk in the hole. There we go. Come on. It's not stripping. There's just a bunch of junk down there. Clock in, Letitia. Okay. I'm gonna do it. Give me no choice. Gotta bring out the earthquake machine. The best part is, they probably won't comment it now that I'm saying it. Somebody's thinking that I'm messing all this up. How much you want to put on that? What in the world? Gotta go backwards. mother of pearl. Also, if you're thinking I ruined the bolts because I put them in and then took them out because they're torque to yield, I haven't torqued them. There we go. Okay. I didn't tighten it, chill out. Still gonna do the cross pattern. So we know that that is more than 22 foot-pounds. So the way you do it, 22, 70, 22, I just did this, why am I, 22, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, something like that. I don't know why I forgot. There's a lot going on today, that's why, I blame that. But, like I've told y'all before, I'm not the biggest fan of that. So, what I'm going to do is, since it's my engine, it's my car, and my money, I am going to obviously make sure it's at 22. And then I'm going to do 45 degrees, or 45 foot-pounds, and then 75 foot-pounds, and leave it there. Or was I going to do 20, or was I just going to go straight? Yeah, let's do 45. So here's 22. Dang, they're already at 22. How is that possible? Yeah, no point wasting time doing that. Here's 45. Well, that earthquake machine may have put it at like 100 foot-pounds. Who knows? Let's go to 75. Okay. Oof, here we go. Here comes the butt puckering. God, I don't like it. Especially so the bolts are supposed to stretch, but it's scary. I don't like it. I'm stopping right there because I can just feel it that, oof. I don't like the way that one moved. That's good. That's good. Whoa, look at there. 1 out of 34 ain't bad. Wait, where'd I go? No, I don't want this one. So the outside ones, you don't want it 75. That's too much. So let's do this one. Let's go back to the middle and see. Woo! God, that one's scary. This is the scariest one. Just click. Just click. You ain't clicking. You ain't clicking. Click. Look at there. All right, we're good. But these outside ones, I want to do 55 foot-pounds, which they might already be there. Now, a lot of people, lots and lots and lots of people have had no issues doing the 90-degree stuff. I've done it. You saw me do it on the Cutlass. That was scary. So, here we go. 55. Okay, let's bump those up to 6. Okay. Okay. Done. Well, except for these little ones. Where's the impact? Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Now you're thinking that those are stripped? No, the holes are just literally filled with junk. So, I'm gonna do that head real quick and we'll come back, put the oil pan on, clean it, paint it, be done. Keep your fingers crossed on this, what's about to happen. Okay, so before the oil pan, I completely forgot we got to do the rockers. And something I didn't know until not too long ago is that LS3, well, Gen 4 square port head in general, the rockers are offset. So you can see, well, let me show you right here. So straight up and down, sideways. So offset, straight, offset, straight, offset. So if you ever come across square port heads with valve springs but no rockers, that's why, because the rockers are actually kind of expensive by themselves. I was very lucky that I got these rockers were already here, because when I got those heads it came in all that, and everything that was disassembled from that Gen 4 engine with these original heads on it was all stuffed in there. So I got super lucky on that. Also, push rods came from the customer, or came from the Cutlass customer. He sent me a set of Michigan Motorsports Chrome Moly 7.4 inch push rods. So I'm using them, and I appreciate that. And obviously we got the other head on. Basically had the same issues with a bunch of stuff being in the holes, but we got that all figured out. So I finished putting these on, and then we will flip her over and do the oil pan. And then I have to take it off the engine stand and put the new rear cover, rear main seal on it, bolt the oil pan down completely, clean it, paint it, done. I'm so over today. I've cut myself in the dumbest ways, and I keep dropping things, and it's just, I'm over it. So let me do that, and we will continue. Okay, it is time for the oil pan. Now, when you're running any car style oil pan, doesn't matter if it's aftermarket or not, and you're using a truck windage tray, you have to cut the first up to the first 2 bolt holes off of the windage tray. So there's that. Also, with the aftermarket oil pans, they give you the pickup tube. They don't give you the windage tray. That's why you got to use what you got. And they give you the O-ring that's needed for the oil pump. Now, the O-ring has to be specific for the pickup tube. It has nothing to do with the oil pump. It's the pickup tube that the O-ring needs to be correct for. And that's why the O-ring comes with it. Let's see, where are we going? It has been a couple, there we go. It's been a couple years since I used a front sump oil pan. Let's put these on real quick. Now, you could just not run a windage tray. You know how many small black Chevys came from the factory with no windage trays? A lot. A lot, a lot. I hate these bolts that they give with the kit. There we go. Okay. So we're going to have to bend this a little bit. Now, if you're going to ask me, have you had any issues with the pickup tube not aligning correctly? Yeah, you just saw it. You just saw it. So what I'm going to do, it has to mount to one of the studs for it to stay in place and not go everywhere. So what I'm going to do is tighten it down and make sure the O-ring and everything is seated, and then do all this to get it mounted on the stud. Huh. Okay, got her on. Just took a little convincing with Letitia, the diversity hire. So, well, now we get our gasket. And remember, RTV in the corners. So corner, 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 corner. RTV on the block side and RTV on the block side for sure. And I also do RTV on the gasket oil pan side. And I am not, what did I just say? I literally just said RTV. And I was going to not use RTV. I need to put the cap somewhere. I also run it along the front cover bottom side and the rear cover, but I got to do this quick because I got to flip it over, unbolt it, so I can hang it by the cherry picker, so I can put the rear cover on and then bolt it all down. So I'm not going to put any on the rear cover just yet, obviously. So make it quick, Grandpa. All right. Of course, everything is not lining up. Oh, brother. Oh, what is going on? What in the world? Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. There we go. There we go. remember, the aftermarket pans use a Gen 4 oil filter. Okay. We can go ahead and do the front cover. Okay, now we gotta flip it over, unbolt it, put it on the cherry picker. Well, put it on the cherry picker, then unbolt it. Wouldn't recommend unbolting it first, but that's just me. I'm pretty sure that was new. Is that, or that's in really good shape. So we're gonna keep that, but not this. Okay, that is ready for paint. Bless you, thank you. Well, okay, that is ready for paint, but I'm not going to be able to do it today. I need the silicone all around the edges to dry before I clean all this off and then paint it. So I'll come out here and do that tomorrow before I bolt it up to the transmission, and you will see it then. Just black. I'm gonna black everything. These aren't the valve covers I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use some aftermarket ones. But I'm doing black everything. Black alternator black. Brackets, black, everything, just everything. So, it is cam swapped, springs, oil pump, oil pan. I know y'all are freaking out about me putting the cam in dry. You can do that, but I always put oil in it. Once I get it in the car and everything and bolt it down, blah, blah, and then I go to put oil in it. I always put oil down in the valley first before I put the valley plate on, and then the knock sensors and all that. So chill, just wait and see. You will see everything through all these videos. Just calm down, Kevin. But I appreciate you watching. I guess mosquitoes are still out because I'm getting bit up. I'm glad I'm done. I cleaned up most of my mess. Oh, we're running a 22-2500 stall converter. This cam states that you don't have to run an aftermarket stall converter, but that's kind of dumb, especially a cam of this size. If it was a smaller cam, it'd make more sense. But I'm running the 22-2500 stall torque converter that comes out of the inline 6 Trailblazers. It was $148 plus tax on Summit Racing, and then it's a $45 core return. So you basically $100 for an aftermarket stall, which is crazy, especially because 2500 is like the common stall range. It's when you get into the bigger cams that stalls get stupid expensive. So that's another reason why I went with this cam, is that it didn't need an insane stall, because like I just said, stalls are expensive. But you're gonna ask me, where is that stall converter? It's on Summit. Type in 4L60E stall converter. Scroll. Look at the one that says 2200-2500. $148. There you go. So appreciate you watching. Still got the deadline till Friday. It is Monday. Tomorrow's Tuesday. I gotta clean the engine bay out. I gotta mount the Gen 3 Hemi motor mounts. That'll all be tomorrow. So look forward to the next video, because I'm already tired of this. Surprise, surprise. See you on the next one.